There we are. Good evening, darlings. And I'm just going to pop this over there a bit. I'm going to move that up there, and I'm going to bring this into here. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. In fact, I've just done it, haven't I? Good evening, darlings, and a very warm welcome indeed to Wednesday Night Live. And I'm delighted to be back with you for another 60-minute or perhaps a little bit more session of community togetherness. It's going to be a joy and a wonder and all sorts of fabulously fantabulous things. I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. It's a little bit nippy in this bleeding cottage, but hey ho, I've got lots of things to talk to you about, and I'm sure you've got lots of things to also talk about. So, I tell you what, we need I need the portable electric telephones, don't I? In case any of you choose to communicate with me or the show. Anything there? No, nothing there. But there you go. That's ready for deployment as and when required. There's still the glitch with only the top messages, not all messages. That's why I've got that out there. The weird thing is that if I watch as not me, so on this one I'm watching as UK singles, then I've got the top message bit. It's only if I'm watching as me that I can't do it, which is irksome, to be honest. That's how I would describe it, irksome. Now, I've got some really important things to bring you up to speed on, darlings. But before I do any of that, I'm going to... No, that's odd. This one says 15 people are watching, and that one says 26 people are watching. How odd. And this one says 6 people have tickled the like button, and this one says 9 people have tickled the like button. Both of which numbers are... quite frankly, and I don't want to sound stern or ungrateful, but they are unacceptably low. Come on, double figure likes if you'd be so very kind. Right, slurp of drinkage, darlings, and then I shall attend to you and your delightful witterings. Oh, that is delightful. And I've earned that today. Now, oddly enough, if I stand up, I can read the messages perfectly well. Isn't that odd? Now, right, messages, and then I'll get on to the important stuff. All of the obsessive stuff. First cab off the rank tonight was the wonderful, the delectable, the generally splendiferous Carol C. Hi, greetings to all and Boaty. The weather today, now that was a tricky situation there, darlings. I almost burped, but I managed to quell it, and I've just done it. You know, burping while you're in the middle of talking is it creates an unacceptably uncontrolled burp. The Hedgehog of Truth is in place for any Hedgehog of Truth related activities. Yeah, I'm quite proud of myself for dealing with that burp. I quelled it nicely. Oh, you've got fabulous titties. Oh, you've got... No, don't talk about your titties during a live stream, please. And where did that come from, putting D's in there instead of T's? It's a very odd thing. The weather today has been incredibly warm for November, says Carol C. And good today. Breakfast was fruit yogurt. Lunch, what's it? An itsu, whatever that is, satay rice noodle pot. And dinner was barbecue ribs, salad, and chips. Well, I can report 3 meals today for the reasons that I espoused during last night's live stream. Today, for breakfast, I had bacon, eggs, and fried bread with some HP sauce. Lunch was noodles, and well, supper's going to be stuffed curry in it. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't change it, and all of that. I quite enjoyed it. Now, if you weren't here last night, I had a cooked breakfast, a tiny, tiny cooked breakfast, just bacon, eggs, and fried bread. That's all. And I had that because I had no butter, darling, so I couldn't have my normal toast. So I had to have a bit of a jump up the larder door. But I have been shopping, my lovelies. I didn't buy much. I bought 2 items. I bought butter and I bought that. The butter, if you want to know, was £2.60 of the King's pence, and that was 99 new pence. Absolutely wonderful. So do let me know if there were any community snaps with me. I've got a snap with Carol C, haven't I? Our lunch, we had a snap lunch. Noodles were involved. Oh, and you see, the voice notes have already started flooding in. And as somebody has made the effort to leave one, I'm going to make the effort to read it, and to do so really quite quickly, almost immediately, you might say. The voice note pinged in. I'm going to play it. Oof. What's it, oof? Oh, and I forgot to say, cheers, your very good health. Bottoms up yours. Get stuffed.
How are you tonight, sir?
I'm all right.
And have you been out or done any more work in the car today?
I have.
And also a Hedgehog of Truth. If you were to date one of them, Carol Ann or Emma, which one would you pick? Time to be honest, sir, while you're doing Hedgehog of Truth. Which woman would you date, Carol Ann or Emma?
Well, Carol Ann, I'm engaged
I'd
with.
all like to know, sir. And why have you not got your gigs on? Poor Emma would be upset, sir. I myself had a pretty good day, sir.
Good.
I had another burger with curly fries and beans.
Nice.
And I had vegetable soup for my snack, sir. Anyway, have a good evening. Can everybody hit the like button for this guy tonight? And thank you very much, Captain, for your little clips today. I was watching your video. Been watching a little bit of Boaty's, but I need to watch more of it after, sir.
Well, that was an excellent voice note, wasn't it? There were mentions of the community. There were full details on food. Mentions of videos, a Hedgehog of Truth question. Wonderful. I approve of that most heartily. Thank you, Mr. Stephen Parry from Port Sunlight in the Wirral, which is, may I remind you, the Leisure Peninsula. Oh. Now then, where did I get to? Ian Hulley is with us. Good evening, Carol and everyone. Let's get ready for some moving and grooving. Well, why not? There's nothing wrong with a bit of moving and grooving. I have just had a ping pong from John Stoodley. Hi, Jaden. Just checking in with you and the community. Hope all is okay with everyone. I've watched both your videos about the car swap and Mustard's video, and got a little upset when it came to the Stigbut part on Mustard's video. I've got very attached to Stigbut, as you know, and hopefully Mustard will look after him, as he always does with cars. John. Thank you, John, and I'm sure Mustard will look after him most terribly well. Ian, hi, ready for the jollity, says Carol, but in my PJs and under a duvet, so not moving will be going on. Greetings, Honourable Plum, says Peter P. And I will give you an update on the underpants situation. Quite honestly, and it pains me to say this, but I'm not going to hide anything from you, darlings, you fabulous members of my inner scrotum. I have completely lost confidence in my underwear. I am wearing my new replacement sex pants. Well, actually, the backup version, the darker red, the bright red, are my primary sex pants because they're more of a Welsh red. And these are not comfortable either. These are just not comfortable either. Now, nothing has escaped today, but yeah, I'm not comfortable. So I'm just all over the place when it comes to my underwear. Something, darlings, something will quite frankly have to be done. Now then, I have decided, or at least I think I have, not to have my hair clipped, stroke, cut, stroke, whatever. I've decided that I quite like it a bit longer, and I'm going to let it grow a bit more and see what happens with it. What do you think? What do you think, darlings? I know I look a bit like Ken Dodd when I wake up in the morning, but yeah, otherwise I wouldn't mind a bit of well, I mean, you know, two of my absolute heroes. I wouldn't mind emulating them in the Barnet department, James May and Gareth A. Davis. Yes, I'm fans of both of them, and I wouldn't mind their hair. So I might do, and plus, you know, that saves me £10 at the barber. I can always tie it into a bloody pigtail or whatever, like Mustard does with a bleeding cable tie. Now, where was that? Oh, Peter P was greeting the Honourable Plums. Lord Stiff Upper Lip is with us. The United States of America and the Star Spangled Banner in triumph both waved at the land of the free and the home of the brave. God bless America. Well, yeah, that is the big news today, isn't it? We woke up to the joyful news that Donnie J. Trump has achieved the most remarkable political comeback probably in history, to become only the second personage to serve two non-consecutive presidential terms. It's only been done once before. And you have to admire the man in many ways. I mean, obviously people will mock him and this, that, and the other, but you know, he's become the most important person in the world. And now he's done it twice. And you have to admire that. Now, if you think that he's a clown or a buffoon or a crook or whatever, then what you've got to say is he's a jolly successful one. And he's managed to do what other people can only dream of, and he's done it twice. And he must be breathing a right old sigh of relief, because if you follow these things, and believe me, darlings, I do. Now, he was facing sentencing for 34 guilty counts. He was facing a shed load of other criminal charges. He was facing financial ruin. The end of his life, you know, the back nine of his days were going to be really unpleasant ones. He was facing all sorts. He was facing jail, prison. He was facing more criminal proceedings. He was facing more civil proceedings, and he was facing pretty much financial ruin. And he's managed to avoid all of that by simply becoming President of the United States and leader of the free world. Because, and you know, this is really cool, the first thing he can do when he becomes president is to pardon himself of everything, and it all just goes away. How brilliant is that? Now, that I do admire. That is the kind of thing that I would dream of doing. Getting myself into more shit than a faggot's finger. Oh, can't say that, can I? Getting myself into more trouble than Dick Barton, and getting out of it simply by becoming the big boss of everything and pardoning myself and just making it all go away. Yeah, I'm very impressed with that. So, well done, Donald Trump. Now, all joking aside, his bark is normally worse than his bite, and he's not an entirely incapable man. He's a man that plays to the crowd, and the reality of him and his decisions and his doings bear little relation to the rhetoric in which he invariably speaks whenever there's an audience or a microphone in front of him. What is interesting is that the stock market reacted incredibly positively to the news. Bitcoin is at an all-time high. Everything's just gone through the roof. So business is very happy with the Trump taking back the presidential reins, and it'll be a bit of fun to see what happens. Ian Hully says, as Leslie Phillips used to say, well, hello, Peter, and a jolly good ding-dong. Pocahontas 100 was here. Hello, Boaty and everyone in chat. Hope all are well. We hope you are well too. Boaty, says Carol C. How many subscribers do you have? Oh, and please like the channel. Thank you. How many subscribers have I got? 6,000, I think. 6,000 and something. 6,000 and some. Something like that. I could tell you exactly if I made the effort to look. Hold on. That's my channel, isn't it? Oh no, I should have gone on to analytics, shouldn't I? There we go. That'll tell me exactly. 6,720 subscribers, and I'm grateful to each and every one of you. Oh, and tonight's video has it really? Oh well, jolly good, jolly good. I can report live that today's video is the 4th most viewed of the 10 most recently uploaded. The most viewed of the of my 10 most recent videos at this time point, which is after the first 3 hours and 47 minutes, the most viewed was it was the restaurant review with no cutlery. The second most viewed is yesterday's video, my last drive in Cheatham. Third was discussing the impending change to the fleet. Today's video is 4th, and the least viewed video in the first 3 hours and 47 minutes amongst my most recent 10 were steak and eggs, the ultimate brunch that nobody enjoyed, nobody watched, and it just died on its ass, like many of my videos do, darlings. And the reason that my videos tend to die on their ass is because I don't make very good videos, and this isn't actually a very good YouTube channel. That's why it's not more successful. But I'm going to try and turn that to my advantage. I'm going to make a series of videos where I tell people how to create a consistently unsuccessful YouTube channel. I've got lots of wisdom that I can impart. I can suggest to people ways that they can get demonetized. I can suggest ideas for videos that nobody will watch. Boaty's Noshes, for example, they were spectacularly unsuccessful. Oh, goodness gracious me. Some of those only got 12 views, and they were lucky to get 12. Yep, I've got many, many ideas to help people build and run a consistently unsuccessful YouTube channel. Good evening, everyone, says Steve KG. Hope you're all well, and we hope the same for you, Steve. Lovely to see you. Alan Simpson is right in our midst. Good evening, one and all. Hope you have all enjoyed pleasant pooing experiences today. Well, how very kind. Our matron's with us. lovely matron, Madam Fanny. Evening all. I have had a slightly bizarre day, open brackets, all good, close brackets. So got no work done. I need to drink lots of wine, but have to get up early tomorrow morning, so we'll play music too loud for now. Bad Books joined us. Good evening all. Matron greets people by name and tells us what she's listening to, which is Richie Sambora. Never heard of him. Oh, Trisha is here, the lovely Trisha. Good evening, Boaty and all in chat. We are back in the land of the living. Just flipping COVID really took hold this time. Oh, Trisha and Paul, I'm glad you're on the mend. Lovely to have you back with us, and we did miss you. Are we on the one cast, Peter Pete? No, you are perfectly correct and level. Wishing Boaty a pleasant undercracker experience. Oh, that's very kind. Oh, Skick is with us. What a great day. Donald Trump, President of the USA. Absolutely brilliant. The flowers are lasting well, says Carol. Yeah, but they didn't kind of blossom, did they? They've just not entirely died. It would have been nice if they'd blossomed, but hey ho. Should replace them fairly soon, really, shouldn't they? Never mind Camberwick Green or Chigley, says Ian. What about Sir Donald of Trumptonshire? Well, indeed. Ross is with us, Dino Dad, hey Boaty and gang. Alan Simpson says, he asks, does Officer Crabtree have a good gramophone? A sensational gramophone. And I'm going to be giving you great detail about said gramophone as soon as I've got through your comments. Don't you want to see all messages, Boaty? Says Matron. Top messages only gives you a selection of what YouTube decides you want to see. Well, that's why I'm watching on this one, Matron, because on this one, I can select all messages rather than, because of the YouTube quirk, only being able to see top messages. Of course, I want to see all the messages, and that's why I'm having to watch as somebody else, not as me. I wonder if his news is about the Sherpa's Lodge, says Kelsey. No, I can tell you there is no news there. There's anti-news with the Sherpa's Lodge. Work appears to have completely stopped. There's nobody there. Now, it's supposed to have been finished probably today. It's probably 2 weeks today that they said they'd have it all done in 2 weeks. In my mind, I gave them a few extra days and said 2 weeks on, so the Sunday, so should have been done by Sunday. It's nowhere near. The roofer hasn't been at all, so work on replacing the roof hasn't even started. And the team, the crew that were working upstairs, I don't know where they are. They buggered off the middle part of last week and they don't appear to have been back. The place is in darkness. It's really, really frustrating, darlings. Really frustrating. And it's frustrating for us as the restaurant as well, because none of the damage in the restaurant caused by upstairs has been repaired, which was supposed to have been done. That was supposed to be done 2 Saturdays ago. It's ridiculous. I don't know who the bloody, I was going to call them cowboys, but that's kind of inappropriate since they are actually Indians, literally Indians. I don't know who these people are that the landlord has thrown £60,000 at, but it's not, I'm not impressed. Now, the other side of the square, there's a property that's been empty for quite a while. Honestly, I'm starting to feel that we should jump ship, that we should get out of where we are. As a company, we've got money, we've got a big pot. And it's ridiculous that the business is being constrained in the way it is because of other people's well, ineptitude, quite frankly. I think we need to be, I mean, if you go and look at the other restaurant, it's amazing, it's beautiful, um, because we own it, we're in control of it. There are no external factors that can screw us up. And I'm honestly getting to the point where I'm thinking of calling a meeting with Bish and just sort of saying, look, um, the landlord needs to either shit or get off the pot. This is ridiculous. Sell us the building, or let's just go somewhere else. We've got a strong brand. The place where we are is far from perfect. We could easily stand a move. It would actually, I think it would actually improve the business. So property prices are on their arse. That's why the landlord won't sell to us, because prices are so depressed. But that could work to our favour, right? Yeah, okay. We've got a long-term lease on the restaurant premises, but the landlord is clearly in breach of the conditions of the lease. We spent a fortune decorating that restaurant, and it now needs decorating again just a few months after, because of all the nonsense that's going on upstairs. So, you know, if the work was being done properly and in a timely manner upstairs, and I'd say fair enough, go with it. But honestly, at this point, I think I'm really starting to think that break the lease, buy somewhere, well, property is on his arse, buy the freehold, and just set the same thing up somewhere else. It can still be in Ripley. Like I say, there are the premises the other side of the town square. They're larger. There's an upstairs, so the Airbnb thing would still work. It's it's really frustrating. I hate this. I hate the feeling of impotence when when you can't control elements of your own situation. They're being controlled by other people, and they're not dealing with them accordingly. And I do level some of the frustration, if I'm honest, at Bish, uh, who is, I mean, he is just my brother. We are very, very close. But because because our restaurant is out of it, he's he's not with it day to day. He dips in and out. And if this was happening at Clay Cross, he wouldn't have stood for this for more than 3 days. I suppose the other option would be again to have a meeting with Bish, and for me just to move to Clay Cross, and do what I'm doing at Ripley, but do it at Clay Cross instead, where I wouldn't be encountering the same issues. I hadn't thought of that until just now when I said it. I know Bishnu wants me to do that. He's wanted me to go back to Clay Cross for a long time. Well, he didn't want me to go in the first place. That might be something to consider, because we are going to do it at Clay Cross. Now, there's more building work involved there, and there's going to be more money involved. It's going to cost 150 to 200,000 to sort the upstairs at Clay Cross, but that's not a problem. The money is there. The money is there. So yeah, I God, I feel very disloyal even thinking about it, but I'm I'm just really losing confidence in Ripley. It's It's ridiculous. And I'm especially frustrated because normally the issue is finance, the issue is money. There's no problem with money. We've got money. The landlord has got money. But because of, quite honestly, cultural reasons, nothing is being done as it should. It's nonsensical. It's idiotic, and I'm really, really struggling with it. And I'm not just frustrated by it. Remember that I'm counting on this for my future. Remember that I am in a very precarious financial state, and this is my way forward. This is my way out. So, maybe I'm putting my eggs in the wrong basket. I'm basing myself at the unloved child of the empire where nobody ever goes. Maybe I should be at Clay Cross in the centre of the action, where Bish and I are around each other every day, and maybe I can get things moving and shaking from there. And maybe that would be better all round because maybe then I could go to bat for Ripley and get something changed. Just get new premises. If the landlord wants to bugger about and piss about or employ people who are not doing what needs to be done, and we've got money, let's just buy somewhere else. Bish hasn't got the time or inclination to deal with anything. He's got so many business interests in this country and overseas, and he's got his political aspirations. And his long-term idea was always that I would take over the day-to-day stuff of the whole doings. He's talked about that for years. So maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should jump ship and just base myself at the favourite son, not the least favourite son. Maybe then I'll be able to make more things happen. Worth thinking about, isn't it? Give it until the end of the month. See what happens. What do you think? What do you think, guys? And I've completely gone off reading your comments and talking about what I wanted to talk about. But that's the way things go, isn't it? I found the YouTube app to be restrictive in what you can do, says Jimmy at 500. It appears to be better just on the browser. Oh, well, yes, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. How did you manage to get hold of Hubnut's glasses? You won't get more views. What sort of accent do you think the hedgehog would have if he could talk, asks Alan. Maybe he does when you leave the room. What an interesting question. I don't know. Actually, I think that if the hedgehog could talk, now Emma and I, before things went crazy on her side, we were talking about making a series of videos. And in that case, then the Hedgehog of Truth would have my accent because I was going to be the voice of the hedgehog. Maybe not entirely my own voice, but one of my voices. But you asked me that question now, what accent would the Hedgehog of Truth have now? And I genuinely now imagine the Hedgehog of Truth would have the voice of Captain Horseradish. I can imagine the Hedgehog of Truth having the voice of Captain Horseradish. Good question, Alan. People saying hello. Alan says, Ross, I reckon either French, like Pepe Le Pew, or Mr. Parr. Oh, dear. Steve Colg is with us. Hello, mate. Oh, Simone is here. Hello, Simone. Hedgie sounds like A from 60, like A, what? A Al from 60 Diesels. I've got no idea what that is. Curly fries sound amazing in Mr. Stephen Paddy's accent, says Alan. Curly fries. The effing peninsula. Oh, and Simone had curly fries with garlic chicken for dinner, so there's a community snap. Why are you all talking about my glasses? I haven't worn glasses tonight. I might put them on now, though, because it's either that or stand up and read the comments. Wear a plastic bag instead. Is there an age limit on curly fries, asked Peter P, or can adults eat them without being wrong-uns? I don't know. Oh, good shout, read the hair, says Matron. Okay. Well, there's one fan of my thoughts. The kitchen's a little bit of a mess. Did start tidying it. I've been so busy. Oh God, right, here we go. I want to whiz through these, so You've passed the messy phase, says Matron, and your hair is now looking good. Oh well, thank you. Boaty's going for the Lorenzo Lamas look. I've got no idea who that is. Oh dear, Emma will not be happy. Or maybe not. Oh, I don't know. Emma will be happy, says Matron. She loves a good mush. Lush. Bush. Both candidates were Kamala, says Peter P, and adds that is a finished joke. Oh dear. Peter P says, we have this large neighbour that likes to take things by force, and if that orange turd gives his approval, I'm very worried. I think we're talking about Russia there. Will Trump now allow the KKK to wear their outfits in public on a Sunday? Were it not for Trump, says Alan, the words cockwomble and spunk trumpet would not be in the public psyche. How can a convicted criminal be allowed to run? Crazy, says Simone. But he won't be a convicted criminal because he will overturn that. New cigarette brand, Boaty and Hedgehogs. Oh, there's a new B&H. It's always everyone else's fault with Trump. It's never his, says Jimmy F500. Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the great things about power. You can be, nothing is your fault. I would be exactly the same. If I had the opportunity, I would do exactly what Donald Trump does. Let's hope he sort the wars out. I doubt it. I think that he will sort the Ukraine war. I genuinely do. I think he is the right man to sort the Ukraine war. And what I think, here's my prediction. It'll probably be totally wrong, but I will make it anyway. Here's how I think Donald Trump will handle the Ukraine situation. Number one, I think that he will continue to supply arms and money to Ukraine. I don't think that his ego will allow Ukraine to lose the war on his watch, as it were. So I am convinced, I would bet a week's wages, that he will continue all of the support to Ukraine. I think that he will try to force Ukraine and Russia to sit at the negotiating table. And I think the way that he will do that will be to say it'll be a carrot and a stick. He will say that he will do his best to help to broker a situation, but I think that he will threaten to punish whichever side refuses to come to the table. So, in other words, if Ukraine says we're not coming to the negotiating table, he will say then I am withdrawing the USA support. because the war cannot go on forever. Now, we all know, any sensible person knows how this war is going to end. It will and can only end in one way. There's only one possible outcome. And that outcome is that there will be a multilateral settlement. Ukraine will have to give up some territory. There will have to be things signed in stone to ensure that a line is drawn under and that there are no repeats, etc., etc. That's the only possible outcome. That is the only possible outcome. The only question is, when does it happen? And Trump will want it to happen sooner rather than later. So he will try and bring both sides to the negotiating table. His ego will want him to be the one that brokers the situation. His ego won't allow Ukraine to lose. He will continue to support them, but he will insist that they enter into negotiations. And equally, he will say to Russia that if they refuse to negotiate sensibly and meaningfully, then he will make life very difficult for Russia. And the one thing about the Trump is that he doesn't live in fear of escalation in the way that Biden and so many others do. Trump is a child in many, many ways. And just like he did with Kim Jong-un, then if Putin wants to start saying that, right, if you start interfering with this, that, and the other, don't forget, we've got nuclear weapons and I'm a lunatic, I'm not afraid to use them. And if you get, and that's why the Biden administration et al. Have refused to go down a certain road. That fear of escalation. That won't work with Trump. If they try and pull that with Trump, he will say, look, if you want to go down that road, then I've got more nuclear weapons than you, and I'm just as much of a lunatic as you. You want to go down that road? You want to go there? Okay, I will obliterate everything. I've got the power to do it. I've got more than you. I've got bigger rockets than you. I've got bigger nukes than you. Remember, that's what he did with Kim Jong-un, and he'll do it with Putin. And Putin's not as mad as people think he is. And that's kind of what's needed. And I genuinely think that he will get that done. I think that he will broker a deal whereby it needs to be face-saving on both sides, really. Russia need to get a bit of what they do have some claim to, in fairness. They do have some claim. They need to get some of that back. Ukraine needs peace and safety and needs to be rebuilt. I can genuinely see him doing that. He's certainly got more chance than old Joe did, or anybody else probably. Hedgehog of Truth question from Bad Books. Would you send your kids to a school whose headmaster is Trump? Well, I don't have kids. My stepkids. It depends. It depends on the school. If the school was the best school available for them and the headmaster happened to be Trump, then yeah, I would. Absolutely. I'm not totally anti Donald Trump. I recognize him for what he is. He's a blusterer. He's a bullshitter. but he does have some business sense. Not a massive amount, but he does have some, and he does have a level of pragmatism. Good evening, lovely people. Didn't realise what time it was, says Diane. Sturdy. Emma's okay, says Matron. Thank you to somebody who asked. Oh, that was Steve Colg who asked. She's probably asleep right now. Still not improved yet, but not worse. Didn't see either of the videos yet, says Jimmy F500. So, says Steve KG, what have I missed since the last time I was here, about 4 weeks ago? Oh, probably nothing. Steve, a new Airbnb in the pipeline, 3 cars in, 1 car out. 3 cars out, 1 car in, rather. Oh, Boaty, do that, says Matron. A series of videos that showing how you got to be so unsuccessful on YouTube, including how to get demonetized, etc. I've been planning it for a while. Good evening, chaps and chapettes and Boaty, says John. Oh, good evening all, says Emma, the M11. I've been listening for a bit, but not sure how long I'll be here. I'm in a bad mood and tired. Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you, my lovely. And Steve isn't in a great mood either. He's had a bad couple of weeks. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Have you lost your goggles, says Steve Cole? You should have kept them on. Well, they're on now. We've all got a touch of the moody blue, says Ian. Pluto in Capricorn, says Diane, is causing a lot of problems. It'll be leaving on the 19th of November. Oh, there we are. Well, it can piss off, says Steve KG. Trisha sending best wishes to Emma and John. Thank you, everybody, says Emma. Sadly, my problems have no end in sight. I'm pretty much confined to my house. I'm stressed, I'm worried, and I'm worn out. I wish I could help. I think we all wish that we could help. Oh, Matron says, well, I commiserate with everybody going through the blues. I myself am in a period of joy at the moment. I hold everyone feeling down in my big squeezy embrace and hope to pull you up with me. I'm going to watch yesterday's stream just to see if the hedgehog's moved. Of course it's moved. It lives over there when I'm not live streaming. If you watch the beginning of this live stream, I went over there to get it. More big, hairy Scottish hugs are heading Everlam's way from Alan. Oh, Steve is here. Ollie Owls, hello. Oh, this is a nice treat. Not enough space here to write how I'm feeling, says Simone. Oh, God, are we all? Oh, dear, are we all having a bad time? A lot of the sadness will be because of the clocks change, the darker afternoons, the impending festive season, New Year, January, cold, dark, etc. I can feel it creeping up, says Matron. Yeah, you should have got O'Reilly after all, says Ross. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, I'd take Mr. O'Reilly at this point. Oh, dear. What would Ram do without you, asks Alan. Well, that's a thing, isn't it? That's a thing that would stop me from doing that. I imagine the hedgehog to have a Cornish accent for some reason, says Emma. Hello, Trump voters, says Captain Mostert. Boaty, the geography teacher with glasses. He's getting used to flipping the glasses on and off, depending on where he needs to look, says Matron, like the Ronnie Corbett tribute act. Oh, dear. Does he give a poo about Ukraine, though, says Jimmy at 500? Does he favour Putin? I don't think so. I don't think so. Not to the extent that is reported. He gets on very well with Zelensky and always has done, but it's an ego thing. His ego won't allow Ukraine to lose on his watch. He won't allow himself to go down in history as the man who caused Ukraine to be devoured by Putin. And he won't be scared of a clash with Putin either. Oh dear. Trump has bigger plums than Putin too, says Emma Lemon. Yeah, I reckon he does actually. He'll go after the building contracts to rebuild Gaza. Well, yeah, that's going to be interesting how he deals with that situation. Last night's stream was funny. I'm gutted I missed it, says C. Some business sense. Are you serious, Boat? Says Skick. Yeah, I'm totally serious. If you've got a guy who is a billionaire, it's a fair chance they've got a slight clue about business. Yes, I know he had a good start. Yes, I know Daddy set him up on this, that, and the other. But you don't get to become a multi-millionaire. You don't get to become a huge television, social media celebrity and personality, and you don't get to become president of the United States and the leader of the free world twice unless you've got a little bit of something about you. You might not like his antics. You might not like his rhetoric, his drivel, his nonsense, but you've got to work to your audience. Now, the things that he does wouldn't work in the UK. People wouldn't vote for him. But he's not in the UK. If he was, he would behave differently. He's not a fool. He has to try and work up votes from the Americans, and he's done exactly that. And Americans react to different stimuli than the rest of the world. Remember, I've lived there. I know how they work. Mustard says Trump is a super rich man. He must have business sense, even if he is kind of horrible. Emma says Boaty will be here for everybody on Crimbo, and I certainly will. As always, there will be a massive live stream on Christmas night for those who need it. I will start it as soon as I get home from work, and it won't end until I have to stumble upstairs to bed, and I might even leave it running then. Alan says, I rather enjoyed your new fleet member appraisal today, Mustard. So did I. I watched it at work. Seduced by a thundercock, eh? Batman Rubin says, glad Trump won. Camel Toe Harris couldn't argue her way out of a wet paper bag. Opinion, says Peter P. I like bungholes. There's always someone who thinks yours stinks. Boaty, you need to watch the film The Apprentice, honestly. He was taught to never give in, never take responsibility or admit defeat. A compulsive liar. Well, yeah, but those are the things that make you successful. They might not make you a good person, but they will make you successful. Don't mention Christmas, says Give me a 500. Right, I've got up with comments, so I've got 5 minutes to tell you about the important things that I've been doing. And by important, I do mean not remotely important. Somebody asked about the gramophone in Officer Crabtree, and it is rather wonderful. Let me describe the gramophone to you while I fiddle about with these doings. Oh, I'm so sorry. That one just slipped out. Not a great deal I could do about that. Oh, God, now I've got the bloody hiccups as well. Oh, my life. Right, now, Officer Crabtree is a Peugeot 407 SW Sport XS. Now, that means that he is a very special edition that was introduced in 2007 and has a very unusual specification. He was a very limited run, and there are very few remaining. He's a very rare car. They were only available in 4 colours, and Officer Crabtree is in the iron grey. Now, these cars were given a very, very specific spec, but Officer Crabtree is over and above. I've been researching this up the wazoo, darlings. So I know all of the options that Officer Crabtree has got over and above what was already a really large spec for a 407 estate. And there are very few of these left on the roads. I haven't got the current figures, but a year ago, there were fewer than 60 of these left on the road anywhere in the world. So by any standards, that makes it quite a rare car. So specifically talking about the gramophone, Officer Crabtree has the best head unit option that was available at the time. That is the full color multimedia display with sat nav, this, that, and the other. In terms of the gramophone aspect, you've got a single slot CD player in the head unit. Now, the thing that I've never encountered before, it's probably standard on all modern cars, but I haven't driven all modern cars. I haven't driven a modern car since I was taken poor. So I'm 20 years out of date with everything. So using the single slot CD player in the head unit, you have access to the hard drive. The gramophone has a hard drive, so you can download your CDs onto the hard drive, and then you can just play the hard drive. They call it the jukebox. Peugeot call it the jukebox. And it has all of the options and possibilities that you would imagine from a jukebox. So the way that works is you put your CD into the slotty, and you can download your CD to the hard drive. And you can download loads of them. It's got really quite a big memory capacity. So, you can download your favorite 100 CDs. You can put them all on the jukebox, which you can access immediately. You can you can name the albums and the individual tracks. You can create specific playlists from them. It's really very clever indeed. And so that's what I've been doing. All of my music CDs, I've been wanging them in the car, downloading them onto the hard drive. It takes a while. I finally figured out, oh, Matron, thank you. Your little bit of research thing and the thing you sent to me did actually help. So thank you very much for that. So I've managed to get rid of all of the previous owners' stuff on the hard drive, cleared it, started again from scratch, and I am downloading or uploading all of my favorite music albums to it. So they're just going to be there in the car. So that's going to be rather wonderful. Now, in terms of the sound of the gramophone, the sound is immense. It's obviously a jolly good gramophone. It's got jolly good speakers. It sounds utterly, utterly fantastic. So no problem with that at all. Now, again, because it's got this ultra mega spec and it's got the cost options, including the red leather interior and non-standard wheels and other things, I managed to download the brochure off the internet. Downloaded it, read it, consumed it, printed it out. It's going to be part of the paperwork pack. So, in addition to all of the doings in the head unit, it's got a stack CD. a 6-stack CD. So I thought, well, what am I going to do with that? What am I going to do with that if I've got all of my music downloaded to the hard drive? And then I thought, I know what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to put my audiobooks, my favorite audiobooks, in the stack CD system, so that they are separate. That's what I did today. That was one of today's jobs. I had to figure out how to get the stack CD system working. I thought it was broken. It's not easy to do, especially without the bloody handbook. But I managed to get it sorted. So the stack CD system is now fully loaded, and the 6 CDs are, well, the first 2 CDs are my favorite audiobook in the world that I couldn't be without. It's been part of my life since I was a young boy. And I decided the audiobooks needed to go into Officer Crabtree because Officer Crabtree is going to be a road trip car. Oh, and I should add that since discovering, how kind of rare Officer Crabtree is, and it's a fantastic car, and I like it very much indeed, then it's gone from being a temporary nice car to being absolutely a keeper. The fleet is going to change. There's going to be MG Rover in it, but it's not going to be exclusive. I was thinking about it, and if you look at Harry's Garage or even Hubnut, then there's a variety of vehicles in there, and that's the way that I want to go. I have some nice stuff in there. I've still got thoughts on fleets and whatnot going forward when hopefully I've got some more money. And I think he's going to be a keeper. He's quite a special thing. And there's so much that I love about him. But going on to the road trips and the CD stack and the audiobooks. Right, so CD 1 and 2 in the 6-stack CD, part of my life since I was very young. Garrison Keillor's Lake Woebegone Days, the Radio 4 version on CD, incredibly rare. I looked for about 12 years before I found a copy. Spent a lot of money buying it. But there you go, that's in there. So 1 and 2, Garrison Keillor, Lake Woebegone Days. 3 and 4 are, obviously, do you want to have a guess? I'll catch up with the comments, and if anybody wants to quickly have a guess what CDs 3, 4, 5, and 6 are, audiobooks, classic ones, very well-known ones. Well, 3 and 4 are anyway. If you want to have a guess, you can do. Let me just catch up. Where did I get to? Oh, so I better put these on, hadn't I? That's about where I got to, wasn't it? Yeah, don't mention Christmas. Night, feel very peed off, says Simone. Oh, I'm sorry. Boaty's falling apart. I've been falling apart forever. The really good, honest people in this world tend to suffer and don't get the true justice and luck they deserve, says Ian. And Pocahontas 100 agrees with that. I'm not being rude, Boaty, says Bad Books, but a 17-year-old card is not very modern. It is by my standards. Boaty, when are you heading to the closest roundabout and blasting Joe the Taxi at full volume when doing laps? I've actually already done that. Joe the Taxi is on the hard drive. A very good evening, everyone, says Andrew Buttigieg, and a jolly good evening to you. Boaty, you should hire them out for weddings. War and Peace, says Mustard. Too tired to guess, says Jimmy F500. The Pigeon does look a nice car, says Skik. Think it might be worth getting a full service on it. A Brief History of Time, says Mustard. The Bible, says Matron. Could be anything, says T-Cold. Is one of the audiobooks Pickle and Squish? Asks Emma. No. Boaty did Dallas twice. No. Okay, right. None of you have guessed. So, okay. CDs 3 and 4 are Sean. If you watch this, you will have guessed. Under Milk Wood. Dylan Thomas. No, it's not Jeremy Clarkson. Under Milk Wood, Dylan Thomas. And obviously the version with the Radio 4 version with Richard Burton as first voice. Gotta have that on there. I've got Visions and Dreams. No, not Mein Kampf, bad books. Oh, good night, Pocahontas. No, not Stanley Unwin's Teach Yourself Unwinese, not Shaun of the Dead. Bloody hell. So yeah, I've got visions of driving through Snowdonia in the middle of the night with Dylan Thomas on the old gramophone. It's I've got so much excitement about times ahead. They're having to be postponed. I told you last night that the YouTube for Dummies, well done, Diane. Wuthering Heights. No, but I need Kate Bush. I need Kate Bush on the hard drive. Kate Bush, hard. Oh, what? I should say so. So I'm not going away next week. I've got to do more prosaic things instead. But Snowdonia is going to happen. Very, very soon in that car. Now with Dylan Thomas. CDs 5 and 6. Gervais Finn live again. A school inspector calls. Now, you might think that one's a little bit left field, but I love this. I love this very much. Now, I was on a road trip in France. It was a week-long road trip, and myself, the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty, and my mother, the lovely mothership, Mumbo, we were on just a week-long meandering drive around France, staying in beautiful places, eating amazing food, just, living our best life. And my mother, as she did, brought a stack of audiobooks because we all loved listening to audiobooks whilst having a good long old car journey. That was our idea of an amazing holiday. Wouldn't be for everybody, but suited us. We like to drive and drive and drive in new places where we'd never been before, different countries. And we would stop and have an amazing lunch, and we would stop at an amazing hotel. And we would listen to audiobooks. And my mother would just buy them. My mother had very good taste. And she would buy things kind of at random and on instinct. Now, none of us had read any Gervais Finn, but she bought this just for the hell, and we put it on. I think it was on about the third day of the road trip, and we put it on, and we were just in pieces. And it's a 2 CD audiobook, and as soon as we finished, we just put it straight on again and listened to it again. And then as soon as we got home, Mrs. Boaty bought the DVD so that we could actually see it as well as listening to it. And then we bought every single one of his books and every single one of his audio books. And I've been a big fan ever since. So there you go. Officer Crabtree is being set up as an amazing road trip car. There's the audiobooks in the CD stack system. There's the music on the hard drive and the head unit, and all sorts of other things are going on. I've made lots of other improvements to him. The best thing that I've done, right, I know you haven't seen him properly on my videos. You haven't seen him at all. So you might have to, you might have seen bits of him on Mustard's video. He's got like a full color display in the center console. And that was the rest of the display is all Rover orange, it looks like. Peugeot used the same kind of orange ambient thing. And then you've got this big central thing, and it was all in blue, and it looked a bit odd. It looked a bit weird, a bit different compared to all of it. So I was going through the settings, finding out about this and that, and I found a thing called configuration. And I realized that there was the option to change all of the color on all of the main settings things. There was an option called flame red. And I swapped it to that. What a difference. What a difference. Now that magnificent central display is in keeping with the rest of the ambient lighting. So that was tremendous. That was a massive, sometimes it's the little things that make the biggest difference. So yeah, I was very, very pleased with that. So the car already became a much nicer place to be in. I took him down to Safeways today and put some more fuel in him. And what else have I done? I investigated the boot. Now there are two lights in the boot. One is in the tailgate, and that works. The other one is below the level of the parcel shelf that isn't there, but will be there after next Monday, as long as the Lego man hasn't given it away or lost it or whatever. And that wasn't working. So I investigated that today. And I found out, I thought it might be a bulb or something, but there's no power connection to that, nor is there a power connection to the power outlet in the boot. And in amongst the wiring, I couldn't find the power connection that had just been unplugged. So I've got no idea what's going on there. But if it is going to be a long-term car, and I think it will be, then I'm going to get that sorted. Other news on Officer Crabtree, desperately needs two front tyres. They passed the MOT with an advisory. It's a front-wheel drive car. It's 140-mile-an-hour car, and the tyres are borderline illegal. So that's not a viable. And then they're not even good tyres. So a pair of new tyres on the front is going to be an essential upgrade. What else have I done? I should save it all for a video, really, shouldn't I? But I'm obsessing over the music and the road trip aspects at the moment, and researching the car itself to find out everything that I can find. I did what I normally do. You can get a lot of information from a Facebook group. So I joined the Peugeot 407 UK Facebook group today, and I'll get some information from that, no doubt. As I said, I got the brochure. Before the deal was even done, I'd investigated the exact model and got all of those details and whatnot. I found out what the problems are, what the solutions are. So tires are the thing that really, really needs to be done. Then there's one electric window that isn't working. What was the other thing that I thought, I need to? No, that's flown from my mind. And there are loads of other little OCD things that I put some money in him. He's got coin slots. Now, Sheeson has got 5 £1 coin slots to the left of the automatic transmission shifter. And I took them out. They've always been in there from day one. And I took them out because I didn't want to give Mustard that extra £5. And happily, I discovered that that Officer Crabtree has got 6 £1 coin slots in the centre armresty bit. So yeah, so it cost me £1 really. I had to put an extra £1. And speaking of pounds, I'd better pound the box. And this is my last £1 coin, darlings. I've only got one. So tomorrow, before I go to work, I might need to do something for the first time. Because I need change for the restaurant and for deliveries and whatnot. So the £1 will go in there. Oh, hold on. There it is. But tomorrow, I'll give you warning, I might need to take £10 out of the box and put a £10 note in. But I won't cheat. It'll still be the same amount of money. I will swap like for like, but I literally haven't got any. The till at work. There are no pound coins, no £2 coins. I'm really low on change, and all I've got is that £1, just shrapnel, really. So I might need to sort the box out, nick some back. Well, not nick, but swap some coins for a note for my delivery float and the restaurant till. But that would need to be done at some point anyway, wouldn't it? Because, you know, when I go to sort the hotel for my birthday, having £100 in coins is going to be no good. It'll be a lot easier if it's in notes. So, oh, look at the time. I've got loads more that I want to talk to you about. And we're going to have to hold it over. Very quickly, this is the thing that I bought for 99p today. This is a Vodafone SIM card. SIM card. The other thing that Officer Crabtree has is you can put a SIM card in him, and he then becomes a telephone, and he has a telephone number. So I bought a SIM card, darlings, 99p. That's the thing I bought along with the butter. And tomorrow I will fit Officer Crabtree with this SIM card, and he will then have a telephone number. And, you know, that's quite exciting to me because I'm really quite sad. And I'm going to have to talk to you about everything else tomorrow because it's time for you lot to go to bed. Time for me to get a shower and some supper and then go to bed. And time has just flown, hasn't it? Oh, I'm on a roll now as well. I'm like the man that fell awkwardly on the buffet. So read your comments, bugger off. That's the order of the day. The box has been pounded. Under Milkwood, obviously, says Matron. Oh, I'm a minute behind. Advanced sheep shagging. Bad books. Honestly. The Hungry Caterpillar, says Mustard. Oh dear, oh dear. Gervais Finn, I think he went to school with the late Richard Whiteley, says Ian. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. We can talk about Gervais Finn another day, darlings. I would recommend that you pick him up, if especially if you. Oh, let's talk about it tomorrow. Remind me to tell you about Gervais Finn, and you absolutely should have Under Milkwood, and you should have Lake Woebegone Days. In fact, I insist that you do. You'll love them, honestly. Has the box been pounded yet? Well, it has now. Surely a phone number for your car will mean that all of your Nicki Minaj in the car will be interrupted by lots of phone calls. Oh, well, I won't tell anybody the number until we're on a road trip and I want you guys to call me. Or so. Oh no. Oh, I'll tell you all the number. I'll tell you all the number, and I'm not going to be driving him that often. He's only going to be used for, he's only going, oh God, no, I don't look at you with these, do I? I look at this with these. He's only going to be used for, he's only going to be, oh God, he's only going to be used for the road trip things. Nighty night, lovely people. Sleep well and sweet dreams, says Ian. I can't have undermilk wood, says Matron. It was forced upon me at school and by my stepfather, both of which are hated with a passion. That is not Dylan Thomas's fault, and it's not undermilk wood's fault. That is you allowing them to rob you of pleasure, Matron. And you're a fighter. Stand up against that. Reclaim undermilk wood. It's the greatest work of a generation. Don't you allow yourself to be robbed of it by a bad school and a bad stepfather. Reclaim it. Have some therapy. Tell yourself that that was then, this is now, or something. Reclaim undermilk wood. Honestly, you need to do that. Otherwise, you won't be able to die happy. And right, let's call it a day at that. Oh, good woman, Matron, when you're feeling ready, indeed. Right, darlings, I'm going to call it a day at that because it's kind of late and I've gone on too long as bloody usual. Thank you for your company. I'm sorry I haven't told you all the things I wanted to tell you, but tomorrow's another day, isn't it? Today you had the insanely long driving video. Tomorrow you'll get the lunch video, and then other things will happen. I'm really pleased you're sticking with the Officer Crabtree now. Oh, I had to. And I did love your video, mister. I did watch it at work, and interesting to see the comments. But we did the right thing for both of us, I'm sure of it. I think Boaty keeps us coming back every night by telling us he hadn't had time to tell us all the stuff he wanted to. So we'll have to come back the next night. I went downstairs to leave my dinner from the freezer and you're still here. I'm going now, darling. Sorry for going on too late. Do join me tomorrow, Thursday Night Live, same time, same place, 11 o'clock, this damp, lonely cottage in the arse end of nowhere. Thank you for being amazing people and for keeping me company and for being the best community I could have ever dreamed of. And let me wish you all, some of you are feeling pants tonight, and I'm really, really sorry. I'm feeling a bit pants. It was probably evident in tonight's doings. I'm feeling better now. I was feeling pants at the beginning of it, and I'm sorry that some of you guys are too. It's a wonderful world, and things will be wonderful in the future. Cling to that. Have a safe and peaceful night. I hope that you can stay warm. I'm not as warm as I would like to be, but I will be once I'm in bed and under the old covers with a full stomach. Have a safe and peaceful night. Have the best day that you can tomorrow. Take any little bit of joy that you possibly can. Take really good care of yourselves. Please take really good care of yourselves. And if you've got those who you love or who love you, take good care of them too. And thank you so much for watching. And join me tomorrow night if you possibly can. And on that note, pachu, and indeed, an undermilk wood. Bosh.